all the reasons what they know about us doesn't make a difference. Baby, we've got us. We on something different. What's up? I'm glad to be back. Glad that hopefully you guys are back. I've been sick for like 2-ish weeks, it feels like. Kind of like maybe it feels like an eternity also. So my voice is a little raspy. I apologize for that. But I'm excited to be talking about this topic today. Vlogging is so weird. I'm not used to this. I got like a script to help keep me focused, but I look over at it. I swear I need to watch some like how to vlog videos. With that said, one of my students saw my YouTube channel. One of my students at the church saw my YouTube channel, and he's like, it's not really, you're not really vlogging. That's not what a vlog is. You're kind of talking about something. And you know what? I don't know what it is. He's probably gonna watch this. I'm talking about you, son. It's a vlog teaching. All right, conversation. We're just having a conversation. So I've filmed this like several times, and it has not worked out well. We are gonna try for this one. Hopefully this will work. I don't know what is happening outside in my town. There's like ambulances and fire trucks and cop cars like zooming past on my not so busy road, and I really hope that whoever is involved is okay, or whatever the situation is. It is a little weird, but we're gonna push past it. Also, there's like a dude dragging a shovel like down the road very slowly, which is a little creepy. He seems, I don't know if you can hear that. I hope you probably can't. I hope you can't. It's a little weird. He seems very close to my house. So we will see. All right. Welcome to the Nerdy Minister. And if you haven't subscribed yet, that'd be awesome. You hit that subscribe button. If you could hit that like button on the video, if you like it, that would be cool also. Today's topic that we're going to jump into sorry about my throat. Today's topic we're going to jump into is that Satan is the master of clickbait. All right. So if you guys know what clickbait is, basically you can skip like 9 seconds. If you know what clickbait is, you're well in tune with what we're going to talk about. If you don't know what clickbait is, basically it's on social media, on YouTube in particular, where you take the thumbnail, the thing you click on to watch the video, and you put something kind of tantalizing in it, something attractive or shocking, basically to get people to click on your video. And most of the time, it's kind of a one-sided promise. Most of the time that, whatever is kind of showing you, hey, this is what is in the video, you definitely want to see this, click on it, that's not really usually what's in the video. And we all know that, but as I was thinking about this topic, anytime I get something in my mind that I can kind of relate to the world today, society, God, our enemy, different things we're going through, I really want to, I try and jump on it. So today we're going to talk about how, internet clickbait really kind of opens the door for clickbait in life, and how those two things Satan uses to really drag us down. To get us off course, to get us off our path that God set for us and that we have set for ourselves. So when I think, how can we relate this topic, we really have to understand that Satan really was the first, the first being to really hone the skill of clickbait. All right, he was the first. He was the originator. He's the master, the OG, if you will. And the whole premise around our culture that Satan knows is that we want everything now. We want what makes us feel good. We want what we want, and how dare anybody or anything tell us that that's not good for us. And I think on the news, you can see it going around. Man, America alone is a toxic place, and it's so confusing. I don't understand it most of the time. But I think this kind of plays into exactly what Satan wants. And he really gets us confused. The crazy thing about clickbait in the world is that when you click on it, when you come out on the other side, you didn't just lose 7 minutes of your life to a video. Even if it's a video you shouldn't be watching, you didn't just lose 7 minutes on a video. All right, clickbait in the world, you come out on the other side of that, there's no telling what you lost. There's no telling the damage that's been done. There's no telling that once you open that floodgate and those raging waters hit you in the legs, they knock everything out from under you, take you to a place that maybe you never expected to be. Man, when I talk to people, most of the time, people that are suffering with crazy addictions or struggles in life, man, none of them ever really thought, yeah, one day I'm definitely gonna be here. One day I'm definitely gonna be in prison. One day I'm definitely gonna be divorced 3 times. One day I'm definitely gonna have this addiction or that addiction. People don't expect to be there, so you have to ask yourself what gets you there. How do you end up in that place? And this is really what this topic today is about, is the fact that Satan gets us, he pushes our buttons, and to be honest, I think a lot of people, humans are super unique. We're all different. Kind of true. We are unique. There is one thing, though, that really we all have in common, and that Satan knows how to push our buttons. He knows how to get us riled up. He knows how to really affect us in ways that maybe we can't even see. We can't even see ourselves. So we've got to understand that that those buttons are all the same. Money, power, fame, material goods, lust, anger, hate. We all kind of have the same trigger button, and one might be worse for some than others, but Satan knows how to push those, and that's what we have to understand. He comes to play, and he plays hard. He doesn't want to be your friend, man. He wants to ruin you. He wants to destroy you. He wants to hurt the people you love, and we've got to be able to recognize that, to stop it, and then to learn how to heal when those instances happen. So you might be thinking, awesome, so we know there's an issue. How do we counter that issue? So we're going to go through 4 things, and this is not an extensive list. It's just kind of what I've seen in my life, what I've seen in advice I've given to other people, to really understand what you have to be able to do to work against the enemy. So the first thing is, like clickbait on the internet, we can usually see it coming. It's not usually a surprise. It's there, it's dangling in front of our face, and we really want it. And it's tantalizing, and looks good, and we think, man, I'll just do this one thing and this one time, and I can get out of whatever situation I'm in. There's no consequences. When life tells us everything has consequences. The Bible tells us everything has consequences. It's just logical. So the first thing is that to fight against it, we have to recognize it. We have to recognize, what weakness do I have? We can't lie to ourselves anymore. We can't play it off as though it's not a big deal. We have to understand, what do I struggle with? Once we realize that, once we recognize it, man, that's where the fight begins. That's where we're able to be like, all right, I struggle with this, so I'm going to do everything I can to cut that out of my life. Which brings us to number 2. Don't place yourself in harm's way. You see, this is this is a almost a no-brainer, but something that all of us struggle with is the fact that when we're presented with an option, there's always two choices. I cannot do whatever is in front of me, or I can give into it. We have to learn to cut it off at the knees. Okay, don't put yourself in harm's way. Matthew 5:30 says, "And if your right hand causes you to stumble, cut it off and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one part of your body than for your whole body to go into hell." That's a powerful verse, because we have to understand that in our life, when I'm struggling with something, I gotta cut it off at the knees, or it's gonna consume me. If there's somebody in my life that's causing me to stumble, if someone struggles with marital fidelity, and that person's actively in your life that you're struggling with, be done with them. Get them out of there. All right? If you struggle with alcoholism, you struggle with drugs, rid yourself of them. Make active efforts to be done with that stuff. We have to be strong enough to understand that Satan only cares about himself. The things he wants for us is destruction and ruin, and for us to hurt the people that we say and claim that we love the most. Which brings us to number 3. We have to understand that whatever you clicked on in life, whatever choice you made, that when you come to the end of it, when you come to the end of that rabbit hole that we go down, most of the time, if it's bad, disappointment and destruction are always going to follow. And that's what Satan's all about. He's all about bringing ruin to us as God's creation. That's his one agenda. He only cares about himself. And his goal for us in life is that he can get us to do enough stuff to slowly drag us away from God. I mean, he doesn't have to rip us out of it. He doesn't have to give us 50 degrees off the track. He's just got to get us 1 or 2 degrees off for long enough that when we look back, man, we can't even see where we came from. We can't even see God anymore. That's why staying on that narrow path is super important. And finally, we've got to ask God to show up. Man, people are lying to you if they tell you that you can get through this life alone. Man, it's impossible. When we go through struggles, when we're facing these temptations that come our way, when clickbait on the internet's one thing, and as bad as it can be, man, when that translates into your real life, when that translates into the decisions that you make, and that we're willing to kind of try a little bit of everything, no matter what the consequences are, going through that alone, that's going to break you. But if you can understand that when we wake up each morning, when we know we're going to be faced with an obstacle in our day, we have to remember to invite God to go through it with us, to help us understand, to give us wisdom, to be able to see kind of what Satan's next plan is for us, what his next trap is. And to come full circle, that lie that we don't need anybody else in life, that we don't need God, that's Satan's greatest thumbnail of all. Because if he can trick us into thinking that we can do it on our own, that we can make it ourselves, without God and without anybody else, he's got us right where he wants us. He's got us alone, separated from people, separated from God, the one being that has given everything for us. That's a scary place to be. Because if he can separate us from ultimately God, then we're cut off from the one source of power that can change our life, that can break through the consequences, that can heal all the wounds that we cause, all the wounds that are caused to us. We've got to understand how Satan works, how he thinks. And until we engage that, we're going to walk through life just clicking on everything we see, no matter what it does to us. And that's not healthy. It's not healthy for us. Some words of wisdom for all of us, myself included, is that we've got to understand that Satan is active, and if we can keep our hearts and our minds and our eyes focused on God, if we can understand to not open all those doors that are placed in front of us, man, life's going to be easier. We're going to be able to stay on the path that God wants us on, and we're going to get out a lot of that destruction and ruin that some of us find ourselves in. We're going to have less consequences. We're going to have an easier time just living. We've got to understand that. Thank you for joining me. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And if you like the video, give it a like. That'd be super appreciated. And I will see you next time.